If you've got problems with your kalifont, maybe you're turning it on, you're having to turn this up, the pressure up and down to trying to get it to ignite. Maybe there's heaps of water pissing out at the bottom here. If it's water pissing out, and that odds are you've done the rubber diaphragm inside there. So anyway, we're going to get to it. First thing you want to do is go shut off your LPG, your actual gas to it, and disconnect your actual gas line so that way there's no risk of gas actually coming through if your bottle doesn't turn off properly. So just have the line disconnected, unscrew it all here, disconnect that one, disconnect your line out, disconnect your line in, clean your filter that you got in here. If you've got a mesh filter stopping the stuff coming in, all that's off. Next thing you want to do, put a rag on your bench. Number one, for not scratching your bench, but number two, so you don't scratch this. As you can see in the past, scratches. You don't want that, so you want to make sure you put a cloth down if you're going to lay things down. Alright, we'll pull them off. Now you got a screw under here, Phillips. Okay, and what we're going to do is get the old Phillips screwdriver into there, and then you've got another two at the top there. Right, so we've got the last one coming out there. Okay, so there's your wee screw. Alright, now what we want to do is just pop this off. Okay, pull it down, and you've got two wires to disconnect. Okay, and these are your two here. This is going to your digital display for your temperature. Okay, so we'll disconnect that one. The other one, if you've got a separate switch in here, make sure you got that disconnected. I've disconnected mine's over there. Or you might have this wired up to actual switches within taps themselves. So just make sure everything's disconnected in there. Next thing we want to go to, you'll see at the back here, okay, where all this whole unit is, it goes up to here, and this is the unit here, finishes with this one. Alright, so if you come to the side, there's a screw over there in here, and there's another one at the end there. So how you want to get to that is have your Phillips screwdriver in the side of the holes here, and you'll be able to access it there. Unscrew that one, and then same on the other side. Okay, then we're going to unscrew the ones at the back there. Okay, you'll see there's one there, one up there, there's another couple over here, and then this whole unit will come out. Make sure you unscrew this pipe here, and that pipe. Right, here we go. Alright, so we've got it unscrewed from there. Now it's ready to come out. So there's two options here. You can put a screwdriver in here and unscrew the screw in there at the top and bottom, so this whole unit comes out. And this you only need it to come out a wee bit, so it'll be staying there, but I'll be taking this. While you're at it, you may as well give these a wee service. So there's enough give there. When you put it back together, just cut a wee piece off these, and then make a nice fresh piece going in. And while this is all off, you may as well sand up those wee tips. Make it just with a bit of fine emery paper. So we're just going to unscrew this here, take this casing out with these on, and then, as I say, cut a little tiny bit off these when you go to put it back together. That way you're giving it a wee sort of a service. It'll spark a lot easier once it's all back together. We're going to get this out and then unscrew these four screws here, and that's your diaphragm rubber inside there. So the water will be normally pissing out where the switch is, so we're going to be checking out that rubber. Alright, so there's one of the prongs there, and you'll see there's a bit of corrosion on it. So we're just going to clean that up with a bit of emery paper, get it nice and shiny. Clean that one up. That's the prong that's going to go into the wire again. So and cut that little piece of the wire off. Alright, might as well do that while we're here. Alright, so now we'll get that apart. There's our diaphragm in there. What I found funny about this actually had a stripped out screw, so this has actually been pulled apart before, even though this was apparently, well, it was brand new off trade me. But anyway, this will be why it's leaking, the seal in here or in here in the next one. Normally this might have a crack in it, especially if you haven't got pressure pushing it back. It more likely be this one, if it's not starting. So we look at this. Alright, well normally it would be this that would be leaking. There'd be a crack in it somewhere. Now just for temporary, if you want, you could just get yourself some old tyre tube off an old tyre, and use your rubber tyre tube glue, stick that back inside there to repair your split, and that'll keep you going until your new part arrives. Okay, so that's one way around it. But, and I mean, if it's completely destroyed, just make a complete temporary one out of a rubber tube, old bike tyre, or a trolley tyre, wheel trolley tyre. Okay, but for this one, that's actually not the issue. It's not why it's leaking. So where it was leaking was here at the switch. So what happens is the pressure comes through on the diaphragm on that rubber, water pressure pushes this out, and then it goes click, 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 and starts. That's your electronics there. And then on turn, it makes your gas go. But there's water pissing out of here, which means we've got a problem with the seal inside here. It's going to be a little tiny seal. Alright, so that may be your next issue. Alright, now we have it unscrewed. Now you'll see here, get it bit down again. Now you see why it's leaking. That wee part there is actually broken. The seal is not broken. Oh no, that's just a cap. That's all good. So let's put that back on. Alright. But anyway, that seal hasn't been sealing properly. And you can see there it does look a little bit, worn, but it's not actually broken. So I'm actually surprised that that's even leaking. So I'm just going to put a thin O-ring around there. If you've got a flat one, put a flat one, but I've only got an O-ring. So just replace that out and we'll be sweet. So we got the old one out. You can see on that side it's a wee bit worn, but you might get a bit more life out of it. If you haven't got anything, you could probably flip that over the other side. Other than that, if you haven't got a O-ring or something, you could use some gasket glue just to seal it, because there's only the outer ring. Anyway, put this back in. So I'll put an O-ring on there. I might have to put a thinner one yet. We'll just wait and see. Alright, so now it's just to say, put it back together. And if it is still leaking after you've done all that, the one thing we haven't replaced yet or looked at is the very inner seal. Of course, that's probably just like a Nylex thing inside there. Once you get into it, or maybe a little tiny rubber, but so if you still got a leak, that could end up being the problem. So you may end up having to pull it apart. So while it was apart, should have really looked at that one. That's right. I reckon that it's probably that one there that's been the problem. So we'll get this back together and see how she goes. Alright, next thing you want to do, get yourself your wee injector cleaners and just go to the gas hole and holes here and just clean them out. Now these ones here, we can see the muckiness in there. There's a wee bit of crud in there. I'm just going to make sure they are all clean while we're here. Alright, now did we fix the leak? Proof's in the pudding. Sweet. Any leaking? No water leaking out. Beauty. So it was that seal. So as I say, most times when you pull it apart, it will actually be that big giant diaphragm seal, but sometimes it can be that one that we just did. So there we go, all fixed. No water leaking. Awesome. Actually, it's even got some better control on the gas now too. That's all good. Brilliant. So there you go. Leave a like, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the channel. Lots of other handy hints and tips on how to do things, how to fix things. Alright. Alright, see how quick that ignites again. Boom. Nice. Enjoy, and now we don't have to worry about getting the wet sink anymore. As I said, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, check out the channel, and now enjoy your fixed kalifont so you can get back to having hot water.